Hi there. So glad you could join us for another riveting edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. On today's pages, an initiative being undertaken by the government to help boost micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. And as we continue to commemorate Heritage Month, we turn the spotlight on Nancy stories. Those and much more after these messages.
There is no vaccine for the chikungunya virus. If you've been infected, take paracetamol such as Panadol, Cetamol, and Tylenol to reduce pain and fever. Sleep under mosquito netting and get plenty of rest. Take showers or sponge baths in room temperature water to lower fever, especially in children, and drink lots of fluids to prevent dehydration. If your symptoms worsen, go and see a doctor. Do not take aspirin as this could cause bleeding, and never use rubbing alcohol. To learn more, call 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683.
Good day, I'm Carrie Ann Smith, and this is your JIS News for Friday, October 24. Over 2,000 new jobs are expected in the hospitality sector within the next few months. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips made the announcement on Wednesday while addressing students at the Montego Bay Community College. More from Andrea Chisholm.
Over the course of the next few months, there is at least 2,000 plus jobs coming on stream between Negril and Trelawney in this sector, and there is more to come.
That was the finance minister's declaration as he pointed to prospects in the tourism and hospitality sector. He also encouraged students to learn to speak Spanish fluently so they could take advantage of Jamaica's business process outsourcing sector. Meanwhile, Deputy Managing Director of the IMF, Ming Zhu, says young people play a key role in Jamaica's growth and development.
We need a human capital. We need the young people. We need the leader of the futures.
Mr. Ming Zhu was in the island for the 2014 High-Level Caribbean Forum, which ended on Friday. The forum examined ways of strengthening the tax and financial systems in the Caribbean while improving the reliability and efficiency of energy. Reporting from the Montego Bay Convention Center, I'm Andrea Chisholm for JIS News.
Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson is in Cuba seeking support for government's Ebola preparedness and response efforts. The minister left the island on Thursday with a delegation that includes senior members in the health ministry, representatives of the Jamaica Defense Force, private sector organization of Jamaica and various medical associations, as well as opposition member Rudyard Spencer. They will be in Cuba until October 26. This comes after a request by Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller to the President of Cuba and a subsequent meeting between Dr. Ferguson and Cuba's ambassador to Jamaica. The authorities are discussing, among other things, training for healthcare and other workers, and the possibility of Cuban doctors and nurses coming to Jamaica in the event of an outbreak here. They're also exploring the provision of additional personal protective equipment, as well as contact tracing kits for managing potentially exposed persons at the community level. The team will also explore training methodologies and review the structure of isolation facilities for Ebola preparedness. Cuba has been actively assisting with the Ebola outbreak in West Africa through the deployment of 165 medical personnel. Meanwhile, ahead of his trip to Cuba, the health minister warned against persons spreading misinformation and rumors about Ebola being in Jamaica. Dr. Ferguson argued that the dissemination of such information was not good for government's response efforts.
We cannot afford for the important information to be lost in the noise created by unsubstantiated rumors. I cannot stress enough the importance of everyone's participation in this process. We need all hands on deck. It has to be an all of government and an all of society response.
Dr. Ferguson was speaking on Tuesday as he handed over Ebola guidelines for the operations of funeral establishments and mortuaries. 7 special needs institutions catering to students with disabilities are the beneficiaries of more than 60 pieces of specialized equipment and software valued at $34 million. Funding was provided by eLearning Jamaica and the Universal Service Fund, and the items were handed over last week. They include printers that convert images and text to Braille and speaking software that converts text to speech.
It is a joyful moment for persons with disabilities in Jamaica.
The Ministry of Education pledges to offer specialist training for teachers in the use of technology for the needs of those who are challenged.
We want to ensure that our people, all of our people in the disabled community, are properly trained and adequately employed.
The 7 schools getting the equipment are the Salvation Army School for the Blind, Listomere Gilby and Danny Williams Schools for the Deaf, as well as Woodlawn, Randolph Lopez, Carberry Court and Landila Special Schools. The University of the West Indies, UA, will now be the institution to award degrees for the 18 Bachelor of Education programs offered by 8 teachers' colleges. This follows the recent signing of a heads of agreement by UA, the Ministry of Education and the 8 teachers' colleges. The initiative is the result of government's policy decision requiring all teachers to have a first degree to teach in the high school system.
Recently there have been concerns about the process of accreditation, and it seems to me that this is an important answer to that.
And finally, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller has sent a condolence message to her counterpart, Prime Minister Stephen Harper of Canada, on the tragic shooting incident which occurred in that nation's capital and within the precincts of its parliament Wednesday. Mrs. Simpson Miller said the calculated, unprovoked attack at the seat of the Canadian government was an attack on the democratic way of life everywhere. She insisted that it must be condemned in the strongest possible way by those who champion democracy, peace and freedom. The Prime Minister went further to say that no effort should be spared in locating the mastermind and those who carried out this dastardly act. At the same time, she expressed profound sympathies for the relatives, friends and associates of the fallen soldier and praised the brave and quick action of the Canadian Security Forces, which saved the loss of other innocent lives. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Carrie Ann Smith. Thanks for watching.
I'm Mario Mackenzie, Robin, captain of the Calabar High Track team. And me have a message for anybody who plan to take the tablet them, or the government give the schoolers for use in class. You never hear so them break the tablet them. That mean anywhere the tablets there, the government can shut them down. Plus GPS tracker installing of them. And even if you find a way, and you go around all of that, the minute you go up on the internet, them are going to know. So here what you do. Just leave the youth them with the tablet. Give them a chance to further them education. Makes sense, done.
As you heard earlier, the 2014 Caribbean High-Level Forum ended today at the Montego Bay Convention Center. The forum was held under the theme Unlocking Economic Growth. Even as government explores different strategies with Caribbean counterparts and multilateral partners, it's also working on a plan that will help to boost the small business sector. Up next, details on the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth project.
Transforming the Jamaican economy through the Economic Reform Program, government has been making steady progress. Part of the strategy involves a process of fiscal consolidation, a policy to reduce debt. At the end of the 2013-2014 fiscal year, Jamaica's debt to gross domestic product (GDP) ratio stood at 139%, down from 147. In simple terms, for every dollar of goods we produce, we used to owe $1.47, and now it's $1.39. As good as that is, the administration is determined to go beyond that.
If we are to sustain hope in the population, if we are to deliver real benefits, it means that we're going to have to strengthen the country's capacity to grow.
And so, with the help of the World Bank, government recently launched the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth project. For the next 3 years, the World Bank and the government of Jamaica will be working together on a country partnership strategy.
The context of the program is very simple. Public sector modernization, enabling environment for private sector-led growth, which we're talking about today, and 3, social and climate resilience.
3 loan agreements valued at $105 million were signed on September 2, 2014 during the finance minister's visit to Washington in the United States. $50 million of that amount will go towards the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth program. The initiative, which will run until June 2020, is being coordinated by the Development Bank of Jamaica and the Jamaica Promotions JAMPRO and is being implemented by the Planning Institute of Jamaica.
This project aims to strengthen the business environment in Jamaica for private sector investment. New and existing businesses will benefit from streamlined regulations and processes, opportunities for public-private partnerships, as well as training and access to financing.
The private sector's role as the engine of growth must be grounded in a modern partnership with the state, and in this regard, the state should enable, facilitate, and complement private sector efforts, and do so in a manner that obviates the normal and natural, I suppose, negative externalities.
And so the government is using every tool available to create an environment for private sector-led growth. For example, it has implemented measures to reduce bureaucracy, like the introduction of a single form for self-employed persons to file their tax returns, and a business registration super form at the company's Office of Jamaica to provide a one-stop shop for people who want to register their businesses. Now, under the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth program, businesses will have access to more money to help them develop.
It will provide resources for private businesses, private firms to undertake feasibility or pre-feasibility studies in relation to strategic investment projects that they may be embarked upon. It will facilitate the development of what I will call loosely technical studies for critical sectors that the country may choose to emphasize as part of its growth strategy.
Sectors such as agriculture, information and communications technology, the creative industries, major infrastructure projects, and the logistics hub initiative.
The resources will be lent through AFIs, including Exim Bank, and so there will be an opportunity for these enterprises to enter the formal financial system, which ultimately will take them, we hope, as we consolidate our fiscal environment, will take them out of a reliance, so to speak, on special lines and get the financial system also into the situation where they will be extending credit at competitive rates.
Through the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth project, special emphasis will also be placed on micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, an extremely important component of any economy.
25 of the $50 million of the project is for SMEs, direct support, through matching grants and line allocations under lines of credit.
The private sector organization of Jamaica is endorsing the initiative.
Things like this will finally allow us to tackle critical areas affecting our ability to be competitive and grow the economy.
The government of Jamaica, working on a number of initiatives to enable private sector-led growth, implementing the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth project to achieve Goal 3 of Vision 2030, a prosperous Jamaican economy.
The Ebola virus is transmitted through direct contact with an infected person's blood or other bodily fluids such as saliva, urine, stool, and semen. The virus can also be spread if broken skin comes in contact with contaminated items like clothing, bed linen, and needles used by an Ebola patient. Symptoms of Ebola include sudden onset of fever, intense weakness, muscle pain, headache, and sore throat. This may be followed by vomiting, diarrhea and rash, impaired kidney and liver functions, and in some cases both internal and external bleeding leading to death. Ebola cannot be spread by someone who does not have symptoms. The time between exposure and when a person begins to have symptoms is known as the incubation period. For Ebola, this is anywhere from 2 to 21 days. Infected patients should be handled by persons wearing proper personal protective equipment, then transferred to designated isolation centers. Protect yourself. Avoid travel to Ebola-affected countries. Avoid contact with infected persons. Don't touch the body of someone who has died from Ebola. Wash hands frequently and use an alcohol-based sanitizer. To know more, call the Health Ministry's Emergency Operations Center at 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683.
Heroes' Day might have come and gone, but the official heritage celebrations are not yet over. We have until October 31. This week, we turn the spotlight on Nancy stories.
Great Nancy is the king of our imagination.
Nancy and him story by Louise Bennett. Once upon a time, Nancy was a past-war woman yard, and him see her grandpicnic out of the doorway and read one storybook. And Nancy go sit outside at the picnic and start looking at the book too. The picnic turn over one leaf, and Nancy see one big picture. A push pose off in the book, and Nancy give out. Yes, me eyesight. Cobra rat, turn over leaf, picnic y'all. For if push a rat in a book, me mush in there too. But all it turn the picnic turn, and all it look and Nancy look, him never see himself. And Nancy get in a temper and take what say, he must put himself in a storybook. All that time, Puss and Rat was good friend, and them always a play the devil in a people house with thief. And Nancy make up his mind to put a spokes to them wheel. So one day, him a pass by one playground and see Puss and Rat out there a play a game. When the game done, and Nancy walk home with Puss and say, "Tap, grab Push, is all in a place so nice with Rat and no eat him. You no know say Rat is nice meat. Here Puss with him crave self. Meow. True better Nancy, and Nancy say, true yes, next time when you meet up, you'll catch him and taste him so she. Who stank and Nancy and lick him up go warm. And Nancy make the rat yard, hear him to rat. Red the rat, me got bad news for you. Little wise me the pass Push yard. Me hear Push mama that tell him say, that anytime me meet up with rat, him fi catch rat and eat rat, for rat and nice meat. Rat start take himself from Puss, and Puss start make hand for rat. And the two of them minds so they for one another, that them never got time for teeth. One day, one old man said to Nancy, Nancy, me hear say that is you make Puss and Rat fall out, and me have to thank you. And Nancy said, is me yes, the two of them push off in a storybook, and me can go in there? John Nancy, that shouldn't worry you. Me will put you in a storybook. And Nancy say, how comes? The old man say, me and all the other old man them, what you help with Puss and Rat, go and tell your story to we grand picnic them at night time, and them won't forget it. And Nancy say, so every night me will come remember you something about myself fi talk. So every night when the old man them I put them grand picnic to bed, and Nancy them on the wall or the ceiling fi make them remember fi tell him story. When them sleep
Great Anansi is the king of our imagination, bringing stories with the...
Life is all about making decisions, choosing from a number of options to do a particular thing, which may result in a specific outcome.
It can be difficult, but there are 4 things you can do to help make that decision.
Stop.
Check out what's happening and remind yourself to think before acting.
Think.
Make sure you're aware of the choices, all the advantages and disadvantages. Then think about the consequences.
Act.
Choose the best option and do something about it.
Review.
Finally, review what you have done and determine if it was good or bad. That way, you'll be in a better position to make the next decision, whether big or simple.
As you all know, the Friday show is incomplete without Arts Page. This week, an initiative to Art Up Downtown.
Art calms the soul and makes the impossible possible. That's why the Ministry of Youth and Culture has been using art as therapy to reach youngsters who were once thought to be unreachable. One of the ministry's art therapy partners, Studio 174, has since 2006 been a haven for young persons seeking an outlet for their artistic expression. On today's episode of The Arts Page, we look at the studio that's been making a name for itself in downtown Kingston, not too far from the famed Kingston Harbor. In May 2013, directors at the studio dared to dream big, and through funding sourced from international non-profit arts and cultural organization OpenVisor and collaboration with the Caribbean Institute of Media and Communication, CARIMAC, they conceptualized the Art Up Downtown project, which ran for 3 months in the pilot phase.
The program really was about getting more Jamaicans to be able to tell their own stories. The students did workshops inside the studio, learning to work with equipment, having to do with audio production, video production, photography. And they also did a lot of work on the road. So I would say the workshops on the road were really what made this program very special, you know, because it was a real-life experience for the students.
Following the workshops, participants were challenged to explore their immediate environment and find positive and interesting stories which could be represented through art. Those involved included 11 interns from CARIMAC and 8 of the studio's regular patrons.
Everybody just come in and they work as a team. And it was great because they did interview, they did like photography. I helped these students by showing them around, telling them about market life, what market life was all about.
We want them to see other people, see what we're doing, so that them can see that we're doing all of those things downtown here.
And it tells you everything about the good parts of downtown. It was totally fantastic. They were nice, they were polite. They took everything time by time with me because, you know, the very first time you're going on video to help someone is like, okay, you're going to be shaking at first, but they talked to me, they helped me laugh, and I just enjoyed myself right through it, like normal.
The exciting interaction between these budding artists and their subjects gave birth to a comprehensive exhibition that found a home within the walls of the studio, showcasing artwork inclusive of drawings, paintings, pictures, video and audio representations of life in the bustling town center.
We went through audio production, photography and video production. That entailed learning how to do stories, interviewing persons on the street, for your audio stories, going on the street again, taking pictures of the buildings, of the people, and learning how to tell a story through pictures, be it one picture or three, and tell a story. And then with video production, what we learned was to tell a story now with video, how to express emotion, how to express the ideas of people, vox pops. They were very excited about it because this is equipment that they've seen but never touched or operated. So they're really excited about it. They caught on quickly.
My skills in videoing, editing has improved. I learned about audio. And what I really improved on was the going out there on the streets, interviewing people, interacting with people, because at Karamat we learned the foundation of audio. So basically when we came here, I learned how to actually carry it out.
The Art Up Downtown project is not the studio's only offering. Neither does it just cater to individuals in and around downtown.
Outside of the Art Up Downtown program, we normally have workshops on Saturdays, and we have a number of plans, a number of things coming on stream very soon. I would definitely want people to know that we'll soon be offering support for CXC, CAPE, and Bachelors of Arts degree students.
What we do also here, we actually teach therapy art, where persons can come, as I said before, and kind of get back to themselves and so forth, because the thing is that sometimes, like during the incursion and so forth, persons were actually terrified and so forth. So what we do, we create programs like these now to make them actually feel comfortable again. It's a place where persons can relax and connect with oneself.
I want to say to the organizers that they're doing a fantastic job. They should keep it up. And we really appreciate it. And I know that the youths here at Studio 174, they also appreciate it.
I want them to continue on their journey and never give up. Because I see students with determination and lots of promise in them. The Art Up program is something good. It's a good thing for downtown, and I'm hoping for the best for it.
I would tell them, come again, do more projects like that.
Organizers have listened, and the second installment of the project began in May 2014, ensuring that a new batch of students can explore their creativity while gaining practical experiences and life skills. There's no age limit for participating in the programs that are offered, so feel free to drop by the studio located at 174 Harbour Street and see what it's all about. You may also send an email to studio174jamaica@hotmail.com or visit their Facebook page to find out more.
And that's it for this Friday's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Thanks for spending time with us. Keep the connection going. Visit our website, jis.gov.jn. Follow us on Twitter at JISnews. And you may also send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jn. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and this has been Jamaica Magazine. Another program comes your way tomorrow. Until then, do take care, and thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.